So most people don't realize how much they are hurting animals. If you're not vegan, you're literally hurting an animal. For every single non-vegan product you consume, which is probably, like every breakfast, every lunch, every dinner, you're literally having an animal abused and killed. Even for eggs, animals are being abused and killed. In the egg industry, at the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive. Because they do not lay eggs and they are not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. So this image at the bottom left of the screen is an image of male chicks being dumped into a macerator to be ground up alive. Because again, the male chicks are useless to the egg industry, and these are not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. And the egg-laying hens themselves are sent to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough eggs to be profitable. In nature, a hen would only lay about 1 to 2 dozen eggs per year. But in the egg industry, they are forced to produce about 200 to 300 eggs per year. And that puts an enormous amount of stress on their body. So by the time they're just a year and a half of age, they become spent, meaning they can no longer produce enough eggs to be profitable. So they are sent to slaughter and turned into dog food or chicken soup. And these birds can live over 7 years, but they are slaughtered at a fraction of their natural lifespan. So yeah, even for eggs, animals are being abused and killed. In this image at the top right of the screen, this is considered free range. All free range means is that the animals are not kept in cages. That is all free range means, is that the animals are not kept in cages. And the image at the bottom right, yeah, this is what happens with all the calves born on dairy farms. Dairy cows do not produce milk because they're dairy cows. Dairy cows produce milk because they're mothers. They are forcibly impregnated, and as soon as they give birth, their babies are stolen from them. On some dairy farms, they will kill the males right away, but typically what happens to the males is they are sent to veal farmers where they're raised for just a few weeks and then they are slaughtered. So yeah, if these calves in this bottom right image right here, if these are male calves, they will be slaughtered within weeks. But even if they're sold to the beef industry, beef cattle are slaughtered between 12 to 22 months of age. They can live over 20 years. But all of these animals in the animal agriculture industry are slaughtered at a fraction of their natural lifespan. Even dairy cows are sent to slaughter. When they can no longer produce enough eggs to be or enough milk to be profitable, they are sent to slaughter. Dairy cows are forced to produce about 10 times more milk than is natural. So that puts an enormous amount of stress on their body. So by the time they're about 5 years of age, they become spent, and then they are sent to slaughter and replaced by younger, more productive dairy cows. Now, they have to be pregnant before they will start lactating. And then they are re-impregnated to keep them lactating. So I don't, yeah. You don't understand how a mammal's body functions, obviously. Yes, mammals, they have to be pregnant before their body will start to produce milk. So no, dairy cows do not just automatically produce milk. They have to be pregnant first. Then they start to lactate. Then they will be reimpregnated to keep them producing milk. It's just so pathetic. So pathetic that people don't understand the truth. They deny the truth. So yeah, if it's not vegan, it absolutely is animal abuse. And yeah, free range again. All free range means is that the animals are not kept in cages. Now, pasture raised, the flesh from a truly pasture raised animal is going to cost you a lot of money because land costs a lot of money. And for, the 1 or 2% of animals that are truly pasture-raised animals and are given any kind of a life worth living, the better those animals are treated, the more they want to live, and the greater the betrayal it is when you butcher them and eat them for a meal that could easily just be substituted with something plant-based that's just as tasty, if not tastier, and much healthier for you, and much more environmentally sustainable. Yeah, treating someone nice before you butcher and eat them, that is not humane. That is psychotic. All you have to do to determine if something is right or wrong is determine if you want that same thing done to you. Yeah, it's strange that all you want to do is eat dead animals. Like, I bury dead animals. I don't put them in my mouth. I mean, that's really freaky when you think about it. I mean, that's what you really do. You literally have an animal's deceased body cut up in pieces on your plate. And people have been so conditioned to eat these disgusting things that they don't even think twice about it. Oh, it's a steak. No, it's not. It's a dead animal. You're literally eating a deceased animal. Like, you might as well eat roadkill. Like, seriously, at least that animal on the side of the road didn't marinate in a shit-filled shed for 6 weeks. Like in the case of chickens, or 6 months in the case of pigs. But yeah, most people would not ever think to pick up a dead animal off the side of the road and take that animal home and cook them up and eat them. Nobody gets the urge to kill an animal when they get hungry, because you're not a true omnivore. You're not a true carnivore. Otherwise, you'd have the urge to kill animals, or at least to eat roadkill. And it's weird, like your food literally marinates in excrement. And then you put that in your mouth. And you think vegans are crazy because we don't eat dead animals that literally spent their lives marinating in a shit-filled shed. In such filth, they had to be given antibiotics to keep them alive long enough to make it to slaughter. It's just so weird. It's just so weird that there's so many people here just so like, conditioned to eat flesh that they can't even think to eat anything else. Yeah, no normal person ever gets the urge to kill an animal when they get hungry. No normal person sees a dead animal on the side of the road and thinks, dinner time. We are not true meat eaters. We are not true meat eaters. And the more meat, dairy, and egg products you consume, the more risk you have of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, causing another pandemic. Yes, animal products are loaded with artery clogging fats and cholesterol that clog up your arteries, impeding blood flow to your vital organs like your heart, which can lead to a heart attack, like your brain, which can lead to a stroke. Well, how many animals have you killed? How many animals have you killed? If you are such a, an omnivore, how many animals have you killed? Yeah, most people can't even stomach this side. I mean, like, oh my God, it's so normal for us, like this is so natural and normal. Then why can't I show it to you? Why can't I show you slaughterhouse footage? If it's okay. I mean, like, if it's okay to slaughter animals and it's so natural and so necessary, why can't I show you slaughterhouse footage right now without my live stream being suspended? Yeah, and you're impeding blood flow to your organs. You're impeding blood flow, to like your heart and your brain and your penis. Yeah, erectile dysfunction is a significant indicator of heart disease. A plant-based diet significantly reduces the risk of heart disease and can even reverse it in some cases. You're welcome, men. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, if you truly care about plants, then you absolutely need to become vegan. Because about 10 times more plants are being killed to feed the animals that you eat. And animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation. So think about what that means for plants. As an acre of land is cleared per second, and it is mainly to graze and grow food for livestock. So yeah, if you truly care about plants, not only should you go vegan, you should become a fruitarian because no plants are harmed for fruits, nuts, or seeds. Yeah, around the globe, about 1 acre of land is cleared per second. Meat is absolutely not good. It's certainly not good for the animals who suffer and die for it. It's not even good for the wild animals because wild animals are being killed because they compete with livestock for grazing land or because they're a threat to livestock. Meat is not good for your health. In fact, the more meat you eat, the more risk you have of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease, causing another pandemic. Meat is not good for the environment. It's really resource intensive, using up most of the land resources, most of the water resources. Yeah, it is insanity what's happening to these animals. And this is being done for what? I mean, torturing animals, mutilating them, sexually assaulting them to force them to reproduce, just so you can feast on their flesh and the things that come out of their shit-encrusted ass vagina and their infected udders, while you're destroying the planet in the process just to increase your risk of getting heart disease and cancer. It literally makes no sense to not be vegan. It makes no sense to not be vegan. Yeah, there are plant foods that provide omega-3s, like walnuts, cauliflower. I like Seicha Inchi oil. Seicha Inchi oil comes from Seicha Inchi seeds. It's a plant that grows in the Amazon rainforest, so demand for Seicha Inchi products actually encourages the reforestation of the Amazon rainforest. So, and just 1 tablespoon of Seicha Inchi oil has over twice as much omega-3s as a serving of salmon. Just 1 tablespoon has over twice as much omega-3s as a serving of salmon. And in case you don't know, the average seafood consumer ingests 11,000 plastic particles each year on top of mercury, which can cause brain damage. And it's not just the fish that are being intentionally killed. They're literally killing off sea lions. Because, you know, sea lions have to eat other fish to survive. So they're killing off the sea lions so that the fishing industry can have those fish for themselves to kill to sell to you. Now, it's not okay to kill anyone. You know, you don't have to consume animal products to be healthy. In fact, a plant-based diet is the best diet for human health. So for you to just go kill an animal just because you can, that's not right. And that's the only reason why you're doing it, just because you can. And it's not really like you even like eating that deceased animal. It's like, yeah, after you put all these herbs and spices on it, yeah, then it becomes tasty. But it wasn't for like the herbs and spices, you probably wouldn't even want to eat it. Well, you're pretty pathetic, you know, like you're a grown man and you're literally here to defend baby stealing and baby killing so you can consume baby food that belongs to a baby cow. The Iowa dairy farmer. Yeah, another liar who just spews lies, saying that, you know, he takes those calves off of those dairy cows because, you know, dairy cows are bad mothers. That's a lie. The reason why the dairy farmers, including the Iowa dairy farmer, the reason why they take these little babies off their mothers is not because those dairy cows are bad mothers. Because they want the food that belongs to these babies to bottle it up and to sell to you for profit, and you fall for their lies. You're a grown man. You should have been weaned decades ago. Why are you still consuming baby food? And from a baby, you know, from a baby food that's designed for a baby cow. You're not a baby. Your mother is not a cow. But here you are like, oh, I'm a grown man, but I need baby food. You literally have baby animals killed so you can consume their baby food. Yeah, that's what's happening when you consume dairy products. And you can still drink milk. You can still eat ice cream. You can still eat cheese pizza. Just choose the plant-based cheese, the plant-based milk, the plant-based ice cream, and stop having babies stolen off of their mothers and killed. Yes, because if these calves are boys, they're killed. All those male calves born on those dairy farms are killed. On some dairy farms, they're killed right away. But most of the time what happens is they're sold to the veal industry and then killed, you know, like within a few weeks. Maybe 3 or 4 months at most. But even if, you know, they're sold off to the beef industry, beef cattle are slaughtered between 12 to 22 months of age. Those animals can live over 20 years. So yeah, it's just strange that so many people are here defending animal abuse. So it's time for anyone out there who is against animal abuse. Time for you to go vegan. You need to go vegan. You need to go vegan right now unless you are for animal abuse. I guess there's just, you know, All of these people in my comments section just must be pro-animal abuse because, you know, that's what you're doing with your negative comments, with your anti-vegan comments. You're literally defending animal abuse. You are defending animal abuse. You're defending baby stealing and baby killing. And in case you don't know, the very first step in producing all of these animal products, even eggs, even dairy products, even honey, they call it artificial insemination. But yeah, just look up artificial insemination of cows, pigs, chickens, fish, bees. See how they collect the semen for that so-called artificial insemination process. It's like this is one of the tools that is used. An electrical stimulation sperm extractor. They shove these things up a bull's anus. Like in the beef industry, in the dairy industry, they shove these things in the anus of the bulls to force them to ejaculate, to collect their semen, to force it into the vaginas of dairy cows, to impregnate them, of beef cattle, to impregnate them, to make the baby animals that you eat. Or in the case of dairy, to get those dairy cows pregnant so that they will start producing milk. Yeah, this is bestiality and it is sexual assault. It is absolutely sexual assault. And that's what you're funding, and you should know that. Now you know. So going forward, if you continue to consume animal products, you are a willing participant in bestiality. You are a willing participant, an accomplice to the sexual assault of animals. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Most hated woman for what? Literally just stating facts. So you hate me just because I'm here stating facts. Right there. Okay, so this right here is a screenshot. of an instructional video put out by the pork industry. This is standard practice. Standard practice. And as a consumer of animal products, you should know the truth. You should know the truth so that you can make educated choices. Step one in the process of producing animal products. They call it artificial insemination. But as you can see, for that so-called artificial insemination process to take place, they have to have semen. And in order to get that semen, they collect it from a male animal. So in the case of your bacon, in the case of pork, how they collect that semen is they take a male pig, a boar, and they masturbate that pig until he ejaculates. This is standard practice, people. Yeah, so for your Christmas dinner tonight, step one, even if you had turkey, they're doing it to male turkeys. They literally sexually stimulate them to force them to have an orgasm. This is what this person is employed to do. So when you're handing your money over to the meat industry, when you're handing your money over to the dairy industry, when you're handing your money even over to the egg industry or the salmon industry or the honey industry, this is what that money goes towards. Hiring somebody to collect semen from male animals. And how they do that is they literally masturbate them, or they stick an electro-ejaculator in their anus. This is bestiality because, yes, this is a human, this is an animal, this is sexual relations. A woman giving a hand job to an animal. That's sexual relations. It matters not one iota whether this woman is getting sexual gratification from this or not. That does not matter. The fact that she's putting her nasty hands on this animal's genitals and making him have an orgasm makes this sexual activity between a human and an animal. That is bestiality. So if you're a Christian, you need to look at what your Bible says about bestiality and what the punishment for bestiality should be. And even if you're not Christian, I mean, you should understand this is morally disgusting. I mean, this is just vile. Someone literally messing with the private parts of an animal. This should not be happening. This should be illegal. This is the very first thing that should happen to get this industry closed down. They need to ban the artificial insemination process. That needs to happen right now. Any sane, decent, rational person would agree that this absolutely needs to be banned. This needs to be illegal. And this would be the first step in shutting down the meat industry and shutting down the dairy industry and shutting down the honey industry. Yes, because they're even doing this to bees. Yeah, in the case of the bees, what they do in order to collect the semen from the male bee is they press on his abdomen until he ejaculates. Then they restrain the queen bee and they force the semen into her to force her to reproduce. So yeah, standard practice throughout the entire animal agriculture industry: bestiality and sexual assault. Yeah, it's not funny. It's not funny. But you, as a consumer of animal products, you need to know the truth. And this is the truth. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy because it is crazy what they're doing to these animals. But this is the truth that they want kept hidden from you. Yeah, there are farmers right now, I guarantee right now, there's probably hundreds of them watching my live stream going fucking crazy. Report, 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 report. They want to shut me up because they know any decent, sane, rational person isn't going to continue to consume animal products knowing that this is what their money goes towards. Paying someone to masturbate an animal. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Just because you refuse to go vegan and eat something plant-based that's much healthier for you, much more environmentally sustainable, doesn't involve any sexual assault of any animal, doesn't involve killing wild animals because, yeah, they are killing wild animals because wild animals compete with livestock for grazing land, like wild American horses and prairie dogs. Wild animals like wolves and cougars and bears and bobcats and coyotes are a threat to livestock, so they're mass killing those animals too. So, like, you're literally supporting, like, so much cruelty when you're consuming animal products. And you're funding the sexual assault of animals too. Yeah, people do care. That's why people are going vegan. By the thousands each day. That is why more and more and more vegan products are taking over store shelves. I'm sure you've had to have noticed. More and more vegan products are taking over store shelves. And this person, you make people mad. Why? Oh, yeah, I forgot. That's right. People don't want to hear the truth. Because, yeah, it's pretty appalling what's happening to these animals to produce the products these people are consuming. Yeah, they get mad because they're like, fuck, now I need to go vegan, but I don't want to go vegan because, because they've been so conditioned to eating dead animals that they can't even think straight. They can't even think straight. They can't even reason. Like, I'm not going vegan. Like, if I can't eat dead animals, my life's not worth living. So sad. So sad. That people are that conditioned. That they don't even know what the fuck else to eat if they're not eating a dead animal's body part or, something that came out of a cow's infected udder or a chicken's shit-encrusted ass vagina. Hunting. Yeah, going out into the woods and gunning down an animal is the same cruel and violent act as going into the woods and gunning down a human. I'm not a human supremacist. I'm not a speciesist. I don't see any difference because there is no difference. Maybe legally there's a difference. But yeah, there was a time when it was legal for white people to own black people. That did not make it right. It doesn't make it right just because it's legal to hunt. Just use your head. Would you want somebody gunning you down for no reason? Like, you don't have to eat animal flesh to be healthy. In fact, the more meat, dairy, and egg products you consume, the more risk you have of heart disease, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease, causing another pandemic like swine flu, bird flu, mad cow disease, COVID, SARS, MERS. And this person wants me reported. For what? Literally, I'm here just stating facts. You, as a consumer of animal products, you need to know. You need to know this is what's happening. This is standard practice. I'm not making this up. This is standard practice. And another reason to go vegan, unless, you don't see anything wrong with, sexually assaulting animals. This is absolutely sexual assault. These animals do not give consent to having their genitals fondled. So this is absolutely sexual assault. And then there's people like, oh, but animals, they can't give consent. They can't give consent. So it's okay that I take their penis and, get the fuck real, people. Seriously. Well, what do you think she's doing to this animal? What do you call this? Her hand on the animal's penis. Moving her hand back and forth until this animal has an orgasm. What do you call that? And this is what she's doing so you can eat the offspring of this animal. So this isn't being done because, this animal like agrees to this. This isn't being done for this animal's best interest. This is being done to make this animal reproduce so that their baby, his baby, and the female pig that his semen's going to be forced into, which is also sexual assault. I mean, if someone forced semen into a woman without her consent, I seriously doubt you would call that artificial insemination. That would be a crime of rape. And just the same, it should be the same crime when done to an animal. And if a human had her baby stolen from her, that's a crime of kidnapping. And that's what they're doing to these animals. They're stealing their babies from them and mutilating them like pigs. They literally cut the tails of the piglets off. They clip their teeth. They clip their ears. They castrate the males. All of this without any anesthesia. Then they force them to live in an overcrowded, shit-filled shed for like 6 months. In such filth, these animals have to be given antibiotics to keep them alive long enough to make it to the slaughterhouse. Oh, and somebody's giving me a finger. Oh, that hurts so bad. Yeah, stay mad. Stay mad. Stay mad. Thanks for that. Stay mad. I'm going to continue to come onto this app and state facts. I'm just here stating facts. I'm not here stating opinions. It's not my opinion that animals are being sexually assaulted to force them to reproduce. It's a fact. And for you people to learn this, I understand some of you might have not have known this prior to coming across my live stream, but now you know. And it's pathetic that you will continue to defend this vile industry. What you need to do is be like, what the fuck? I didn't know that. Holy shit. Yeah, I do need to go vegan. This is sick. This is sick. This does need to stop. Any decent, rational person would immediately become a vegan, knowing this is the first step in producing animal products. But if you're going to continue to consume animal products, now that you know that this is the first step, they even do this to cows, bulls. They even do this to turkeys. They even do this to roosters. They even do this to fish. They even do this to bees to collect their semen. Yeah, bee semen. It's a thing. And they collect it. And they shove it into the queen to force her to reproduce. Yeah, I'm just going to keep on saying the same things over and over again because I know people are coming on and off of this live stream, Every second there's somebody else that comes on and they are unaware. So I'm trying to make people aware. As many people as possible, I'm trying to make aware because any sane, decent, rational person will go vegan, especially once they know that animals are being sexually abused to force them to reproduce. Because this is where your money's going. Part of that money, when you purchase an animal product, part of that money is going to pay this person or a farm hand to sexually violate an animal to collect their semen. This is bestiality and it's sexual assault. And it needs to stop. This should be illegal. But this is standard practice. And you as a consumer of animal products, you need to know the truth. You need to know the truth so you can make educated choices. The only reason why I ever consumed animal products growing up was because I didn't know any better. I was not taught better. I wish somebody would have reached me with the truth sooner. And maybe this is the end of times because, now we have social media. And literally, we can use this app to do a lot of good. You can literally get on this app and reach people all across the United States, all across the world, just about. And what are you using this app for? To spread hate? To defend animal abuse? I'm using this app to educate people about the worst industry that has ever existed, the most brutal industry that has ever existed, the most environmentally destructive industry that has ever existed. I'm using this app to educate as many people as I can. Especially if you're Christian, you should absolutely understand why you need to go vegan. Because this disgusting industry is totally the opposite of holy. Totally the opposite of holy. This is the most unholy industry that has ever existed. And it's destroying everything your God created. The forests, the rivers, the oceans, the animals, even the people. 1 billion people starving to death right at this very moment. 1 billion people starving. As tens of billions of animals being fattened for their flesh and secretions are well fed today. They are not well cared for by any means, but they are well fed. Grains grown in third world countries are used to fatten livestock so privileged people in first world countries can consume meat and dairy products as 1 billion people starve to death. Hunting is animal serial killing. Yep. Should be illegal. It's animal abuse, to say the least. Should be illegal. Fishing should be illegal. I mean, would you put a hook through a dog's face? Yeah, you would understand that to put a hook through a dog's face and drag a dog through a lake, that would be animal abuse. How do you not understand that it's also animal abuse to put a hook through a fish's face and drag them out of their habitat? And do you know that 50% of the fish that are caught and released die from the stress of being dragged out of their environment, even if it's just for a few seconds? That causes that animal enough stress to where they are very likely to die from it, to die from the stress and or the injuries. So, yeah, fishing should also be illegal. It is animal abuse. And animal agriculture definitely should be illegal. It's not only animal abuse. We're not just talking about the physical abuse of animals. We're also talking about the psychological abuse of animals and the sexual abuse of animals. Fish do have feelings, believe it or not. Fish will befriend humans. In case you don't know, they will befriend humans. They can remember faces. They can remember obstacle courses. A fish will hide. A lot of fish will hide when they sense danger. Yeah, well, fish don't live on land. Fish don't live on land. But they're dragged out of the water and brought up into a dry environment that is completely the opposite of what they're used to. And they can't survive. No, I'm not wrong. I'm literally just stating facts. No, report yourself. Report yourself. Go down to your local police station and report yourself for animal abuse. Because if you pay the hitman, you are the murderer. You know, like say, you know, that dog that lit Riona. Say that person that lit that dog Riona on fire was paid by somebody. Somebody paid that guy, say, $1,000 and said, hey, go light that dog on fire. Do you think that the person who told the guy to light the dog on fire, do you think that person should also be charged with animal cruelty? Or do you think just the person who lit the dog on fire should be charged with animal cruelty? Or do you think the person that said, hey, I'll give you $1,000 if you light that dog on fire? Yeah, I think they would both be they should both be charged with animal abuse. It's the same thing. If you're purchasing animal products, you're literally paying people to abuse animals and stab them in their throat. So if you understand that, you know, someone abusing a dog should be charged with animal abuse, someone paying someone to abuse a dog should be charged with animal abuse, well, then you should understand that you should be charged with animal abuse if you're buying animal products. Because for those products to end up on your store shelf for you to purchase, an animal is being abused. And not just physically, but also psychologically and sexually. The females are being sexually abused by having semen forced into them to make the baby animals that you eat. And in the case of dairy, to make the milk, because they have to be pregnant in order to start lactating. So they literally have semen forced into them to get them pregnant so that they will start to lactate. But then to get that semen, to force into those unconsenting female animals, they literally masturbate male animals like they're doing here for this pig, for pork, for bacon. Yeah, I don't go to parties. So yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in being fun at parties. I'm interested in seeing justice served for these animals. Yeah, I guess you've never heard of non-lethal deterrence or veganic farming, or that animals have legs and a will to live, and when they sense danger, they run out of the way. And yeah, whatever animals are being killed in crop production, multiply that by 10. 10 times more animals are being killed in crop production to produce the products, the crops to feed the animals that you eat. Yeah, so as a consumer of animal products, you should know the truth about how these products are produced. And this image behind me is a screenshot taken from an instructional video put out by the pork industry, demonstrating, this woman is demonstrating how she collects semen from a boar to produce pork. She's literally sexually stimulating this animal, forcing him to have an orgasm. That is sexual abuse, and it is bestiality, because bestiality is sexual relations between a human and an animal. And this is a human, and this is an animal, and her hand on his penis is sexual relations. So now you know. So now going forward, If you continue to consume animal products, you are a willing participant in bestiality and in the sexual assault of animals. And I'm just stating facts. I'm just stating facts. And it's just strange that people still want to defend this industry. Look at all of these anti-vegan comments. Even though I'm literally proving to people that animals are being sexually assaulted to produce animal products. And you as a consumer of animal products, you need to know this is the standard practice. That semen collection process is standard practice throughout the entire animal agriculture industry, even in the egg industry, even in the honey industry. For instance, for eggs, what they do, they masturbate a rooster to force him to ejaculate, to collect his semen, to force that semen into a hen, to fertilize her eggs so that those eggs hatch into the egg-laying hens that lay the eggs on store shelves. And at the hatcheries where all those egg-laying hens come from, they cannot determine the sex of the chicks until they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive because the male chicks are useless to the egg industry and they are not the same breed used for meat. They do not grow quick enough or big enough to be profitable for meat. So they're ground up alive. So yeah, just so many ways in which these animals are being abused. Well, it's disturbing that you think this is okay. Especially if you're Christian, because yeah, you need to look up what your Bible says about bestiality. This is absolutely bestiality. This is a human. This is an animal. This, her hand on his penis, is sexual relations. Bestiality is sexual relations between a human and an animal. She's got her hand on that animal's penis, and she is going to keep it there until this animal ejaculates. Then she's going to collect his semen, and then she is going to force it into an unconsenting female's vagina to impregnate her for this sinister purpose of stealing all of her babies and mutilating them, cutting their tails off, clipping their teeth, clipping their ears, castrating the males, all without any anesthesia, then forcing them to live in an overcrowded, shit-filled dungeon for 6 months before forcing those animals onto a transport truck in the freezing cold of winter or in the stifling heat of summer to travel for hours with no food, no water. Those animals are shitting and pissing on each other. When they arrive at that slaughterhouse, they do not go in willingly. They are forced straight off that transport truck through a narrow chute to the kill floor. If they even manage to turn around to try to escape, there is a worker there with an electric prod to force them back around straight to the kill floor to their deaths. And it is estimated that about 20 million animals die on those transport trucks each year in the United States alone. And how do most of those 20 million animals die each year? A lot of them freeze to death. Like now in the wintertime, they freeze to death. In the summertime, a lot of those animals die of heat stroke. That is like one of the reasons why they do not like vegan activists holding vigils at those slaughterhouses. Because the vegans at those slaughterhouses are documenting the conditions that those animals are arriving in. And again, some of those animals are arriving dead. Now, report yourself. Report yourself. I'm literally here just stating facts that consumers need to know so that they can make educated choices. Because there was a time when I used to consume animal products, and it was only because I did not know better. Because I was not taught better. Nobody taught me that they were doing this to animals, okay? Nobody taught me that it wasn't necessary to eat animals to be healthy. I actually was so brainwashed into consuming animals, thinking it was necessary, that when I first went vegan, I actually thought that I might not be able to stick with it because I thought that my health might deteriorate because I was so brainwashed to thinking I had to eat animals to be healthy. But actually, my health significantly improved. Within 3 months of going vegan, the pain I used to endure 12 days out of every single month for years from endometriosis completely went away. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so, because meat, dairy, and eggs are the most inflammatory foods you can consume. And yeah, it's interesting that once I eliminated those very inflammatory foods from my diet, the inflammation, the pain went away. And a lot of people see health benefits going vegan, even from the American Institute for Cancer Research, the National Kidney Foundation, the American Heart Association. A plant-based diet can help reduce your risk of those very common and very deadly diseases: heart disease, cancer, diabetes, kidney disease. The more meat you eat, the more risk you have of cancer, heart disease, kidney disease, type 2 diabetes. Yeah, very true. So you can watch Eating You Alive, What the Health, The Game Changers. Also, you should watch Dominion. You can see it for free at dominionmovement.com. And yeah, if you understand that it is wrong to abuse animals, you need to go vegan, and you need to go vegan now. And you should stand up for these animals. You should make other people aware of what's happening to them. So you can make your own TikTok videos, or you can duet any of my TikToks that you think might encourage people to go vegan. Just duet some of those videos. Or again, make up your own videos. You can actually, a lot of the videos that I post, I copy from YouTube. And then from there, you can edit those videos down to a minute and make your own TikTok with them. Like, I get a lot of my footage from Kinder World. Yeah, people do care. That's why thousands of people go vegan each and every day, because people do care. People do care. You absolutely should go vegan, especially if you're against animal abuse. If you understand that it is wrong to abuse animals, you absolutely need to go vegan, and you should do it right now. And it's the easiest thing ever and the most beneficial thing you can do for your health and for the health of this planet. Right in the search box here on TikTok, just put vegan recipes in the search box. You'll find endless vegan recipes. Follow some of the TikTokers who post those vegan recipes, and you'll see how easy it is and how delicious vegan food is. Yeah, you want to get me banned because I am getting people to go vegan. Otherwise, you wouldn't be scared of my account. You're so desperate to silence me because you know I'm getting people to go vegan. No, guess what? Most of the B12 supplements produced are actually given to livestock. Yeah, it's interesting that people are like, well, how do you vegans get your B12? But you never question how those animals you eat get their B12. Yeah, most B12 supplements produced are actually given to livestock. Yeah, people who harm animals rarely stop there. Yeah, and those 4 University of Idaho college students that were murdered, guess what? Guess what is near that house where they were slaughtered? A slaughterhouse. Yeah, 1.5 miles away. There's a slaughterhouse. 3 miles in the other direction is another slaughterhouse. So that house where those 4 University of Idaho students were butchered, they're right in the middle of 2 slaughterhouses. One is right on campus, Teachers are teaching students how to stab innocent animals in their throats. Yeah, because they have to stab them in their throat to sever their jugular vein, to bleed them out before they butcher them. Or they, slash their throat to sever the jugular vein, to bleed them out before they butcher them. So yeah, I'm not going to be surprised once the killer is caught if that killer has ties to either of those slaughterhouses. Because people who hurt animals rarely stop there. And they're literally stabbing animals in their throats in those slaughterhouses. Or slashing their throats to sever their jugular vein. So yeah, I'm not going to be surprised. Or, maybe a hunter. Because again, people who hurt animals rarely stop there. That's a fact. Yeah, plants are living creatures. But they don't have brains. They don't have personalities. They do not have emotions. But for some reason, you can relate to a plant. But you can't relate to an animal who does have a brain and does have a personality and does have emotions. You can relate to a plant much better that has no brain and no emotions and no personality. I wonder why that is. I wonder why. I wish I could just do like a Reagan right now. A Reagan, The Exorcist, head spin, vomit. I'm just so sick. Why do so many people come to the defense of animal abusers? It makes no sense. Makes no sense why everybody wants to come here to defend animal abuse. Even after I prove that animals are being sexually assaulted, they still want to defend this disgusting, vile, evil, demonic industry. This is the most unholy thing on earth. The animal agriculture industry is so fucking unholy. Literally destroying everything God created. Every sin is committed. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Here you are, killing animals, stealing from them, stealing their babies, killing their babies. And this person, God put them here for me to eat, so I'm going to eat them. No, this has nothing to do with God, and I'm proving that to you. See, this is a person who's literally masturbating a boar to collect his semen, to force that semen into an unconsenting female pig's vagina to impregnate her. So her babies can be stolen and mutilated and murdered at 6 months of age so you can feast on their flesh. This has nothing to do with God and everything to do with bestiality and sexual assault. So get your head out of the sand and go vegan. Because if you're not vegan, you are literally committing every sin there is and destroying everything that God created by supporting the animal agriculture industry, which is literally the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, ocean plastics, pandemics, world hunger, and climate change. There are 1 billion people starving right now as tens of billions of animals being fattened for their flesh and secretions are well fed today. Yeah, grains grown in third world countries are used to fatten livestock so privileged people can eat meat and dairy products as 1 billion people starve. Most of the fresh water is directed to animal agriculture. It takes about 10 times more crops to be produced to feed livestock. So yeah, 10 times more water has to be used to water the crops needed to feed livestock than need to be used to water the crops to feed humans directly. And then these animals need to drink water. And they can drink a lot of water each day. And then the shit-filled sheds where these pigs are housed by the thousands, where the turkeys are housed by the thousands, where the chickens are housed by the thousands, they have to be cleaned. Yeah, they're being cleaned with water, in case you don't know. Those barns where they milk the dairy cows. Yeah, did you ever see them? Like even the Iowa dairy farmer. Yeah, right there on his TikTok page. You just look at his dairy cows. Literally, there's just shit all over the place. And then a constant stream of water that, like, you know, kind of like washes it away, but not completely. So there's always just like a layer of like really wet, slick shit that they're obviously falling into. So that's why their udders are all covered in shit constantly, because they're like slipping and falling in that nastiness. This person's worried about me saying a swear word, but not worried about the fact that, you know, animals are being sexually assaulted to make the food that they're eating every day. Yeah, look up what your Bible says about bestiality and what the punishment should be, because that's what you're funding right here, and I'm proving it. This is a human. This is an animal. This is sexual relations as her hand is on his penis until he ejaculates. Sexual relations between a human and an animal is bestiality. Look up what your Bible says about bestiality. Okay? It's a sin. It's a sin. So why are you defending this behavior? Why are you funding this behavior? Why are you here defending? That's so unholy. So unholy. So unholy. Now I'm baby talking because I'm really just getting fucking fed up. I mean, I'm just, you know, just getting fed up. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous that you people fight so hard to keep this vile, evil industry going. This shit needs to be ended today, right now. Now you know the truth. But you're going to still continue to fund this industry. You're still going to continue to give money to an industry that pays people to sexually assault animals, torture animals, stab animals in their throat. Like every single non-vegan product you consume, you are having an animal stabbed in their throat or having their throat slit. So for your breakfast, animal's throat slit. For your lunch, animal's throat slit. For your dinner, animal's throat slit. Then you go to sleep and you wake up the next day over and over again, all day long. Slit throat, slit throat, slit throat, slit throat, slit throat. Or, you know, in the case of eggs, you just have those little male chicks put into a blender and ground up alive. So unholy. And I'm not religious, but you know what I think? I actually think this is a test. I think maybe there is a God, and this is a test. And most people are failing miserably. Because that's like, you know, like the end of times. And here I am on this app where I'm literally reaching people all across the nation. There are people seeing this live stream, like other parts of the country, other parts of the world even. And, instead of people waking up, people are just like getting more and more and more evil. Like even when you see a person literally sexually assaulting an animal, you come to their defense instead of the defense of these animals? Yeah, I really think maybe there is a God, and this all has to be a test because nothing in this fucking world makes sense. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Other than this is a fucking test. There is a battle of good versus evil going on. This is fucking evil. If you're on the side of the animal abusers, you're on the side of evil. I'm not. I'm trying to get people to do the right thing. and treat others with decency. Treat others with respect. Leave your fucking hands off these animals and their private parts, and keep knives out of their fucking throats. You understand what happened to those 4 students being stabbed to death. You understand that was wrong, but you literally have animals stabbed to death every day, all day long. Morning, noon, and night, breakfast, dinner, lunch, even for your dessert. You're literally having animals killed. Like, if your dessert contains milk, you're having little baby cows killed so you can have their baby food. You're consuming a dessert with eggs. You're literally having a male chick ground up alive. Oh my God, it is. I literally am here telling you the truth and you're denying it. This is standard practice. You're literally purchasing animal products. You are literally paying people to sexually assault animals. That is a sin. It is a sin. Look at your Bible. If you're Christian, it's a sin. Bestiality is a sin. Killing is a sin. Thou shalt not kill means thou shalt not kill. Doesn't say thou shalt not kill your fellow man. It says thou shalt not kill, period. We're not living in a time where there was a catastrophic flood that wiped out all the vegetation. And you literally have to eat animals to survive. You're not in a survival situation, nowhere near it. We have never lived in a time where we have access to as many plant-based food options as we have nowadays. And there's more and more options becoming available almost daily. And the plant-based options are the healthiest, especially the fruits, the vegetables, the grains, the beans, the legumes, the nuts, the seeds. Those are the best foods for our health. Even from the American Institute for Cancer Research, the National Kidney Foundation, the American Heart Association. A plant-based diet significantly reduces your risk of all of those very common and very deadly diseases, and can even help treat them if you have them. Can even help fight cancer if you have cancer. Can even help slow the progression of kidney disease. Can even reverse heart disease in some cases. And here you are defending animal killers, animal abusers. You're not on the side of God. You're on the side of the devil, and that is the truth. Evil has a hold of your soul. Evil. I'm vegan because evil does not have a hold of my soul.